Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to True Sim Productions. I am your host, Winston Deal from the WD Broadcasting Network on Facebook. Ready to bring you guys race number 6 for the SRX Spring Shootout, brought to you guys by the All-Star Racing League. Recently merging with Crooked Line Racing to make one huge racing league and bring you guys weekly short track content right here on True Sim Productions. So stay tuned up in the next couple weeks when some schedules get revealed and we get to see some racing under a new banner and a new name. So stay tuned. It will be exciting, but qualifying, getting set and ready to go here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. Get the timing and scoring up on the left side of your screen. First car out on the racetrack, Zach Murphy in the number 29 machine. Good Wrench Service Plus machine. Down the back straightaway. He's done a good job this season. I'll try and get my stats pulled up on the left side of my screen. Lap number 1 for Zach Murphy, a 1962. Second to Dalton Creech's 1948. See if he can pick it up on lap number 2. Murphy, lap number 2, doesn't pick it up, but Brian Voss going to go to the top spot with a 1940. So Brian Voss in the 55 to the top spot for the first time in a couple weeks. 55 has kind of been off pace a little bit here in the SRX machine, but he's got it figured out here tonight. We'll see if he can find his way to victory lane. Obviously, Voss very good at Myrtle Beach Speedway. Him and Brandon Elvis are going to be up at the front battling for this victory. And speaking of, we'll take a look at the 54 machine of Brandon Elvis as he makes his way up and out of turns 3 and 4. Green flag, or sorry, white flag, 1947 on lap number 1 for Elvis. We'll see what he can do on lap number 2, nearly grazing the wall down the back straightaway. And into 3 and 4, just trying to hug that white line. Gets the power down off the corner. Checkered flag is out. What can Brandon Elvis do? Lap number 2 slows it down just a little bit. So right now, Brian Voss is your pole sitter. We'll see what the other Brian can do. Brian Zimmerman in the 28. 2 minutes remaining here in qualifying. Zimmerman through turns 3 and 4. Getting the white flag right here. Lap number 1 for Zimmerman. Second quick, a 1943. Very close to Brian Voss's 1940. We'll see what he can do right here on the second lap. Zimmerman has a couple of podium finishes here this season on the asphalt side of things. Best finish is 3rd. But he's going to stay second quick right here in qualifying. 1 car left to take time, or actually 2 cars rather. Bradley Hollifield and Anthony Rennick still not putting a time up. But we've got about 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining into qualifying. I'm going to take a quick step away and go grab a drink of water, maybe take a stop by the restroom and get ready for this 150 lap feature event here tonight for the SRX Spring Shootout, the finale, race number 6. We will return here in just a moment on True Sim Productions. Alrighty, folks, we're back here on True Sim Productions on the grid, getting things ready to roll to the field behind the iRacing.com pace car. Make sure we've got everything ready to go. 11 cars scheduled to start this race. 9 cars putting in a qualifying lap. Brian Voss, the best of those, into the number 55 machine. He's going to be rolling off on the pole. Brian Zimmerman to his outside in the 28. Going to be starting second. Back behind them, Brandon Elvis, who this season has been remarkable in that 54 machine, finishing podium every single week with the exception of that second race at Lucas Oil. But he's got 2 wins, second place, and a pair of third place finishes to his name. So doing really good this season. Be shocked if he doesn't come out of the night here this evening as the champion. I believe he just about has it mathematically locked up over which I believe is Brian Zimmerman. Let me pull that up really quick and make sure. Sorry, Kevin Prettyman is the second spot in points. Brian Zimmerman missing a couple races this season. Knocking him back, but yeah, 33 points back for Prettyman. Just about has the deal sealed. It would take a large amount of incident points and a pretty disastrous night for Brandon Elvis for the 78 machine, or sorry, the 88 machine rather, of Kevin Prettyman to take the championship away. But the 4th spot going to be Dalton Creech. Back behind them, Chris Smith in the 5th spot. Zach Murphy up top. Justin Coleman, Kevin Prettyman, Jeffrey Miller, and Anthony Rennick rounding out your field. And through turns 3 and 4, we are racing here at Myrtle Beach. Brian Voss, Brian Zimmerman leading them into turns 1 and 2. Everybody given plenty of room. Down the back straightaway they go. Into turns 3 and 4. Brian Voss can have the early advantage. Here comes Brandon Elvis looking for a position improvement right there. Going to the 2nd spot. Zimmerman able to close the door. Dalton Creech up in the 36. Able to settle in line in the 4th spot. Back behind them, Zach Murphy trying to go forward in the 29. Still on the outside of Chris Smith in the 80 machine down low. And Murphy's doing a good job holding him off right there on the bottom. He's able to not let him use all of the racetrack up on the outside. But this is going to hurt the tires of both those cars staying side by side like this. So we'll see who's going to prevail. Looks like Murphy has the advantage, just not quite able to clear. Can he do it in turns 1 and 2? Looks like Smith going to back off a little bit and try and give that position up. Ooh, Murphy slides up right there. That's going to give the opening back to Smith in the 80 machine. As it looks like Murphy going to get in line. Nearly contact. Kind of shut the door right there, but in line. Into the 5th spot for Zach Murphy. Anthony Rennick in the 23, or rather the 9. Biggest mover so far, up 2 spots. The top 4 stay the same from where they started. Brian Voss, Brian Zimmerman, Brandon Elvis, and Dalton Creech. We are only 6 laps in of our 150 laps scheduled. I think these guys are good on fuel to the 150 lap mark, but tires are going to be the issue. You got to save those right side tires, and especially that right front tire. These cars have a tendency to push through the center of the corners. Be can't burn those rear tires up on the exit either, as we are nearly 10 laps in, a 15th of the way into this race. Brandon Elvis up the racetrack in the 54. Not quite sure if that was by choice or if he missed a corner there, but going to lose some ground to your race leader. Zimmerman starting to close that gap to the back bumper. Brian Voss start to breathe down his neck a little bit right there. Try and apply some pressure. You saw him get right up close to the back bumper in 3 and 4. We'll see if he can get a run off 2 and do the same kind of thing here. But one thing I like about this SRX car, you just look in the corner and see all kinds of different lines that these guys are running and making work. Everybody kind of doing a different thing and manipulating the car in a different way, and they're all in a line and running in the same kind of pace. So it's really cool, the diversity you get with these race cars. So you're 12 laps in. Voss, your leader from the get-go still. As they head off of turns 3 and 4. Everybody single file throughout your field. Anthony Rennick calling it a night in the 9 machine. Out of this one. Or maybe, I don't know what exactly happened. I think he might have had some kind of connection issues. It shows him on the left side of our screen, but on my timing on my monitor, it shows him 2 laps down. So not quite sure what the issue is there, but Chris Smith underneath Zach Murphy taking over the 5th spot. Justin Coleman trying to take advantage of that as well in the 14. He's got chrome rims on this week. See if that's the magic touch for Justin Coleman and Old Red here. Moves up into the 6th spot, making his way around Zach Murphy. He's back up front. Ooh, Dalton Creech going around out of turns 3 and 4. Wow, what a miss there. Zach Murphy just about got clobbered. Sorry, Dalton Creech just about got clobbered by Zach Murphy right there on the exit of turns 3 and 4. As we look at the replay here, the 36 of Creech, yeah, just loses the back end right there. But watch the 29 of Zach Murphy. Whew! We'll go on board with Murphy and try and relive that from his driver's seat. As you look up in front, Creech right there. Goes down the racetrack, back up, back up. Whew! Near miss right there for Zach Murphy in the 29. Able to keep it going and continue on in the 6th spot. Dalton Creech going to be scored back in the 9th position after that slide. The field's starting to double up. The light's still on in the iRacing.com pace car. The pace car is off the field, doubled up. Brian Voss, Brian Zimmerman, your top two. Brandon Elvis, Chris Smith behind him. A fast pace through turns 3 and 4. And to the start line right there. Green flag is back out. Brian Voss gets a good jump there, but Chris Smith is going to be right there on the door. Here comes Brandon Elvis to the inside. Elvis to the inside. Contact there with Zimmerman. Ooh, Smith goes up the racetrack in the 80 machine. I think he had contact with Elvis down low, or maybe Coleman in the 14. Not sure which one, but Elvis gets around Zimmerman here. Going to try and clear him up off the corner. Here comes Justin Coleman in the 14. So move Brandon Elvis up to the second spot. On lap 24. Justin Coleman, your biggest mover so far, up 3 spots from where he started in the 7th position. Keep an eye on him as he's been able to get some pretty easy spots. Murphy up into the wall. Got loose off the corner. I think Smith was able to avoid him, but Murphy got into the wall pretty hard. He's going to be in the 6th spot right now. Kevin Prettyman behind him. But Brian Voss continuing to lead this race. Dalton Creech trying to work his way back up. We are 27 laps into this one. Still a long way to go. The gap's starting to open up just a little bit as we look into turns 1 and 2 right here over the curbs. See where everybody is running. Couple different lines, as I said earlier on. The line in 3 and 4 looks to be a little more static down on the bottom. Just kind of paint that yellow line, or sorry, white line. But 1 and 2, you see a couple guys entering a little bit higher, maybe trying to turn into the corner later. Caution flag is out. Zach Murphy turned around on the backstretch. Bradley Hallfield got in there late, didn't catch what happened. We'll try and see. Dalton Creech right there as well in the 36. Oh, the Turtles got him. Right there in turns 1 and 2, you see the 3 machine. Drop him back right there as well. We'll get another view at this here. See race leaders coming through right here, and then Murphy in the 29 just gets on the curb and spins out. Good avoidance there by the 36 of Dalton Creech, but unfortunately Bradley Hallfield couldn't get her woed down in time. Jeffrey Miller sliding through there as well. So here comes your field. Brian Voss, Brandon Elvis, Brian Zimmerman, Justin Coleman, Chris Smith, your top 5 here on lap 32. Under caution for the second time here this evening. So far, nobody willing to come down pit road. Only driver has been Zach Murphy in the 29. Got it in there. Some pretty heavy front end damage. Couple laps down in the 29. So tough break for Zach Murphy. Not the start that he wanted to the season finale. Field getting ready to double up behind the iRacing.com pace car. And we're going to get ready to send them back green flag racing. So through turns 3 and 4, 35 laps, and you're going to be sending them back green with 115 laps to go. Good restart from Brandon Elvis into turns 1 and 2. They make their way through turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway they go. Side by side into turns 3 and 4. Ooh, Brian Zimmerman, hard impact into the outside wall. Hard into turns 3 and 4. Got loose, it looked like, but huge accident there going into turns 3 and 4. Not sure what happened. We'll get another look at it here. But 35 laps in. Yeah, just got loose going into the corner and overcorrected in a big way. The 36 of Dalton Creech involved. Leave Zach Murphy. Yeah, you see Zach Murphy spinning in there as well. Yeah, we're going to get one more view of this from up top. See if we can't figure out what happened once again. I don't think there, yeah, no contact, just lost the back end and in a big way overcorrected. Dalton Creech, Kevin Prettyman right there as well. You see Zach Murphy spun. So under yellow once again. Cautions, breeding cautions here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. Brandon Elvis, your race leader, though, was able to get around Brian Voss on that restart. They drag raced down the backstretch, and he got the race lead. So he is your race leader. Brian Voss still in the second spot. Justin Coleman, though, in the 14, going to be sitting third with Chris Smith and Jeffrey Miller rounding out your top 5. 40 laps in here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway under caution for the third time. The lights are off on the iRacing.com pace car. Field is doubled up. Brandon Elvis, Brian Voss, Justin Coleman, Chris Smith, front 2 rows, making their way down the back straightaway. The pace car is off. We'll see what Brandon Elvis here Or let's see what Brandon Elvis has here on this restart. Brings him in slow. Good launch there. He's going to have plenty of room going into one. Here comes Justin Coleman fighting for the second spot. Chris Smith able to get down as well in the 80. Coleman side by side with the 55 into turns 3 and 4. We'll see which lane prevails. Looks like Voss doing a good job making that outside lane work. As a drag race down the back straightaway, Coleman pushing up just a little bit, had the advantage past the camera right there. But Voss, ooh, a little bit sideways, maybe some contact. Everybody's sliding. Voss going to get the spot. Justin Coleman to second, or to third, I should say. Not sure what happened, but it looked like somebody slid the tires and somebody else followed. I don't know if there was contact, though. But Brian Voss, oh, up the racetrack again. Might have tagged the inside wall. He's going to lose the second position to Justin Coleman. So move Brian Voss back to third on lap 45 out of 150. So Brandon Elvis, your race leader now, about 3/4 of a second ahead of second place Justin Coleman. Brian Voss and Chris Smith are pretty close to him. And then it's a little bit back to Kevin Prettyman, who's battling with Dalton Creech in the 36. Creech looking inside into turns 3 and 4. Ooh, nearly contact. Kind of shoved the 88 into the corner. He's going to get the position here. We'll see if Zach Murphy can follow suit. As we are nearing 1/3 of the way through this race. Brandon Elvis just maintaining that gap. Really able to save tires right here, run his race with the gap that he's got built up. So this time around, 50 laps in, 100 laps to go, not 50 laps to go. So 100 right here. Elvis is doing a good job maintaining that gap. I've been able to watch the lap times a little bit, and he's able to drop back his pace for a couple laps and then kind of stretch that lead back out a little bit. Really able to play with that gap. Doing a great job managing his tires here early on. But let's take a look back at Justin Coleman in the 14 machine. He's got Brian Voss hounding his back bumper, looking inside, looking outside. Definitely struggling to hang on to that second position. Right there on the back bumper, Voss. Ooh, up the racetrack he goes. Kind of had to play with his entry there, and he's going to have to now fend off Chris Smith for the the third spot. Battle is on here. 55 laps in. 95 to go at the line. Elvis starting to open that lead up a little bit more. The biggest we've seen it so far. As we look at the field in turns 1 and 2. Really starting to spread out. Brian Zimmerman did get the 28 machine back out there, but did have to tow that car in. He is 3 laps down. Depending on how many cars go a lap down this race, he might be able to get some lucky dogs and be back on the lead lap. We'll just see what he's got. Jeffrey Miller going a lap down in the 79. Up and out of the way of your race leaders. 5 cars on the lead lap. So your front 4 right here, and then Dalton Creech a couple seconds back. Brandon Elvis seeing 60 laps in right now, just setting it on cruise. The lap times have been staying pretty consistent. Bradley Hollifield making his way down pit road, several laps down in the 3 machine. As the battle is on once again for the 2nd spot. Coleman struggling to hold his ground in the 14. Big sideways moment. That's going to allow the 55 of Brian Voss to sneak to the outside. We'll see if he can get the power down out of 2. Justin Coleman trying to get that 2nd spot back on the inside. He's got the preferred line. Ooh, gets into the wall though. So Justin Coleman going to lose the 2nd spot. Can he keep the 3rd spot from Chris Smith in the 80? Looks like he's going to be clear in turns 1 and 2, but give the 2nd spot back to the 55 on lap 63. We'll see if he can track down your race leader, Brandon Elvis. Remember, he was the pole sitter of this race, Ryan Voss. But so far, your biggest mover is still Justin Coleman in the 14, up 4 positions from his 7th place starting spot. As we are approaching the halfway mark, just about 9 laps from now, we will see the cross flags. I'm going to take a quick step away, go refill my glass of water, and take a look out the window, make sure my windows are shut during this big thunderstorm that's rolling through my neighborhood at this moment. So, going to take a quick step away. You guys aren't going to miss a thing here on True Sim Productions. I'm your host, Winston Deal. 5 laps shy of halfway here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. Brandon Elvis is still your race leader. The good news is, folks, my windows up. We're up during the thunderstorm, so we don't got to worry about any problems in the morning. So we can check that box before we go to bed. But Brandon Elvis looking like he's going to be your Coleman Designs halfway leader. Assuming we don't get a caution within the next couple laps that would change that. So the cross flags next time around. Brandon Elvis going to be your Coleman Designs halfway leader. 5 cars still on the lead lap. It's Brian Voss in the second spot, with Justin Coleman in the third position with Chris Smith on his back bumper, about 2 seconds back. And then 7 seconds back is Dalton Creech in the 36, begging to put a new set of tires on the 36 machine. Zach Murphy is 1 lap down in the 29. Brian Zimmerman is 2 laps down. Or sorry, 3 laps down. Jeffrey Miller, 2 laps down. If the 28 passes the 79 one more time, he will be passing him 4 position. So he's got to go 1 more lap to get that spot. But Zimmerman just trying to keep his name in contention here late in the race for any kind of points he can get. Up front, though, your race leader just doing a good job maintaining the gap. We'll take a look at the times last time around. Nearly identical, your top 3. And it's a little bit further back from there, but your top 3 or 4 cars all still running the same similar pace. But Brandon Elvis just being glass smooth in that 54 machine, able to get the best of these guys. Still a lot of time left to go, as we see lap 80 right there. $70 laps to go at the line right here. Jeffrey Miller going another lap down in the 79. I don't know if the microphone here can pick up the storms outside, but it is really raining outside. I went in my kitchen to refill my water, and the window is open just a little bit, and it was really downpouring. So I'm really hoping that we don't have any kind of Wi-Fi issues throughout this race, but the lightning and the lightning's lighting up my entire room around me, and the thunder is kind of cracking a little bit. So if you guys hear a random banging, it's definitely the thunder. Just hoping it's not going to cause any issues. Good race so far. Brian Voss starting to fall off the pace a little bit from your race leader. About 0.5 of a second difference since the last time I saw it. But the pace definitely starting to slow down throughout the field. Tires get eaten here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway, as we all know. It's not very friendly on the Goodyear tires. As we look a little bit further back, Justin Coleman starting to reel in your second place driver, Brian Voss, trying to take the second spot back. Chris Smith down pit road in the 80 machine, going to try and force the hand of your race leaders. The pace significantly quicker on new tires. Oh, caution flag maybe. I heard somebody go around. I think it was Zach Murphy. He must have reset. And he hops his way into the pits to avoid the caution flag. But Chris Smith making a green flag pit stop in the 80 machine. Right side tires going up. Obviously, you're going to want to get 4 if you're down on pit road, I think. Oh, he's just going to go for 2. But we'll see if that forces the hand of anybody else. Only going to be 1 lap down. But he's going to have quite the pace on fresh right side tires here. We'll keep track and see how much ground he's able to make up. But if this thing goes green and those guys elect to not pit, it'll be interesting to see if Smith is able to track them down. .90 laps in at the line for Brandon Elvis, your race leader. Justin Coleman really starting to put the pressure on Brian Voss here, closing that gap up pretty quick. So we'll see what kind of challenge he's got. As we look at the laps the last time around, Chris Smith nearly a second faster than your race leader, Brandon Elvis. Definitely starting to make some time up. There goes the 14 of Justin Coleman to the second spot. Brian Voss went up the racetrack, just not able to keep him at bay. Chris Smith in the 80 down the back straightaway. We'll see where Brandon Elvis is. He's in turns 1 and 2. So a lot of ground to make up for the 7 of Chris Smith. Gonna have to pass him twice here if he wants a shot at the victory. The race leader, Brandon Elvis, big lead over Justin Coleman and Brian Voss. Then it's 11 seconds back to Dalton Creech in the 36. Goes by right there. He's got Chris Smith and Brian Zimmerman with him as well. And then back quite a ways to Brandon Elvis, who is going to be your race leader at lap 100, assuming we don't get a yellow flag. Jeffrey Miller down pit road in the 79 machine. See if he's parking it or getting fresh tires. So Elvis, 3.5 seconds over Justin Coleman now. Easily the biggest lead we've seen tonight. I could bet a lot of money that the stream heard that loud crack of thunder. I watched my microphone spike as soon as it happened. I'm going to have to go back and watch that right at the lap 100 mark. Brandon Elvis going to make his pit stop. So I know for sure that he's going to watch this part back and hear that crack of thunder. Brian Voss also making a pit stop in the 55. He's down pit road. Jeffrey Miller back out in the 79. Dalton Creech down as well. And Justin Coleman, your race leader right now, still on track in the 14. We'll see if he elects to pit right here. Chris Smith right there behind him, about to unlap himself. Coleman's staying on the racetrack, but look at the gap that Smith has to Brian Voss in the 55 machine. Green flag pit stops here at Myrtle Beach playing out dramatically. We'll see if the 14 keeps it on the racetrack for a couple more laps. It looks like he's committing here. As he is really struggling to hang on to that race car. Brandon Elvis quite a ways back in the 54. About 6 seconds between him and Brian Voss. Dalton Creech still on pit road. Not quite sure what happened. Maybe a penalty there for the 36 machine. Yeah, it looks like a second pit stop there for the 36 of Dalton Creech. Maybe an unfortunate speeding penalty. Definitely tough to avoid here, but Chris Smith tracking down your race leader. I'm interested to see what kind of ground these guys are able to make up. Well, look at the last time around. What kind of lap times they were running. Brandon Elvis just ran the fastest lap of the race in the 54 machine, but he is 8 seconds back from Chris Smith, who is bound to be your race leader, assuming Justin Coleman makes the pit stop in the 14. So Coleman making his way down pit road. We'll see what kind of time he's able to preserve here, and we'll see where he stacks up with the rest of your race leaders. That is going to hand the lead over to Chris Smith, who has a 4-second advantage now over Brian Voss in the 55. 40 laps to go. So right now, Chris Smith, your leader. Elvis getting around Justin Coleman, so he is going to stack up right around Brandon Elvis in the third spot, 11 seconds back. So we'll see what kind of time Justin Coleman is able to make up with these fresher tires, pitting 9 laps later than your race leaders. we'll keep the times up on the left side. Elvis and Coleman are definitely significantly faster, but with this much time left in the race, are they going to be able to track down Chris Smith and Brian Voss? Voss is closing that gap, but not quite enough. We've got 35 to go at the line. The lap time's definitely starting to swing in the favor of Brian Voss and Brandon Elvis. But right there, Justin Coleman on the back bumper of Brandon Elvis. And if you're these two, you don't want to fight for this position. You just got to let it roll, because you got to make up time on your race leader, Chris Smith, and Brian Voss in that second spot. But everybody pitting at different times really threw a wrench into the mix. Ooh, Justin Coleman being super aggressive to the bottom side of the racetrack, nearly contact. Elvis up the racetrack a little bit to avoid. I think the 14 of Coleman went for it and maybe lost the rear end there and just backed out of the bad situation. Is Chris Smith, your race leader, making his way down the back straightaway? He's coming to 30 laps to go right now, so it's a Saturday night short track feature from here. I'm going to step away for one more quick water break and maybe swing by the restroom one more time and get ready for the final 25 laps. And I will return in just a moment. You guys won't miss a thing, though. We'll keep the stream up and rolling. I'll be right back. I'm your host, Winston Deal. $25 laps to go at the line. Chris Smith, your race leader right now. The times are starting to even out between him and Brian Voss, about 1.5 seconds between the two. But Brandon Elvis and Justin Coleman still have a pretty good advantage, but they are still 5 seconds back. Sorry, 6 seconds back. As Coleman gets around Brandon Elvis with 24 to go. So 21 laps to go. Can Brian Voss reel in your race leader, Chris Smith, in the 80 machine? Inside of 20 laps to go. Chris Smith is still your race leader. And Brian Voss is about a second and a half back still, but maybe running out of time. The pace not in his favor. Brandon Elvis still significantly quicker, but will there be enough time? He's got 4.5 seconds to do so. Sorry, Justin Coleman. He's got 4 seconds to make up. Can he do it? You look at the times once again between your top three. About 4/10 quicker is Justin Coleman. $15 to go for Chris Smith. Brian Voss really starting to fall out of the picture. He's got Justin Coleman and Brandon Elvis in his rearview mirror. I don't know if there will be enough time for Justin Coleman to get to the lead. Look at the field into turns 3 and 4 right here. Brian Voss trying to hang on to that race car. He's kind of fallen off the pace a little bit. Might have burned up the tires trying to track down your race leader, Chris Smith, during that first stretch of the first stretch after the green flag pit stops. But Justin Coleman in the 14. Right there on the back bumper, 10 laps to go. 2 seconds the difference now between Justin Coleman and your race leader. Move Justin Coleman to the second spot. Can he do it, folks? He's got 2.5 seconds to make up. Look at the times that last time around. Dead even, 9 laps to go. He's got to be perfect in every sense to even get there. And he's got to be really good to make the pass. We'll see what he can do. Coleman going to try and reel in Chris Smith. 8 laps to go at the line. Just about a 10th quicker. He's going to have to do a little bit better than that. $14 of Justin Coleman trying everything he can here in these final closing laps. He sees Chris Smith way up in front of him. Starting to close the gap. Nearly 2/10 quicker that time, but time might be running out for the 14 of Justin Coleman. 5 laps to go at the line for Chris Smith in the 80. Undercut the pit strategy and forced the leaders to stay out. They stayed out 14 laps. Came in on lap 100. But Smith had such an advantage with that undercut, making time while they stayed out, that he just kept that time once the pit stops were over. As we have 3 laps to go. Time's starting to even out. Battle for the 3rd spot heating up. Brandon Elvis trying to get onto the podium here with 3 laps to go. He's caught 3rd place Brian Voss. And the popsicle sticks are up in the air. Elvis to the inside of Voss. Can he make the move? Voss going to hold him tight down the back straightaway. We're going to jump up front to Chris Smith. White flag is up. 1 lap to go for Chris Smith. Trying to do the unthinkable after undercutting the pit strategy. Coleman in the 2nd spot, about a 1.5 seconds back. Too late, too soon. Don't really know what I meant to say there, but Chris Smith up and out of turns 3 and 4. Your race winner here at Myrtle Beach. Justin Coleman in the 2nd spot. A few more laps. Maybe he could have got to him, but just ran out of time. Brian Voss in the 55 going to bring it home 3rd. Brandon Elvis in the 54. Your champion here in the SRX Spring Shootout. Going to bring it home 4th. And Brian Zimmerman 5th in the 28, 3 laps down. We'll grab a word from our top 4 this evening because your champion, Brandon Elvis, going to get a word. And then we will conclude things here at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. We're going to take a quick step away. We will return here in just a moment on True Sim Productions. Alrighty, folks, we're back here on True Sim Productions, getting ready to grab a word from our top 4. We'll save our champ, Brandon Elvis, for last. But we will start with our 3rd place finisher here, Brian Voss. Brian Voss up in the booth, you got a copy. Wait, I know what's wrong. I figured it out now. Brian Voss up at the booth, you got a copy.
Yes, sir. I got you.
There we go. I had the mic set up to the headset microphone for some reason, but third place here tonight. You qualified on the pole. Had a pretty good race up front. Had the race lead, and then Brandon Elvis got to your outside on one of those restarts and was able to drag race you down the backstretch. Got an early caution right there. Um, Played some pit strategy. Got third place there at the end. Tell me how your race went.
Yeah, I was actually surprised they get the pole and have the speed. I guess just knowing Myrtle Beach probably helped me. Definitely still trying to learn these cars and got to get the brakes situated the way I think that they need. I don't have enough stopping power compared to everybody else. It seems like, and seems like I'm standing them pretty good. But yeah, man, I got to. I swear I think it said 0.0. I got to look back at that. I knew it was close when I saw Zimmy Seller off in there, and we were saving at that point. So I gassed it up because I knew setting the tone and having track position would be pivotal. Then just used up a little bit too much tire trying to get back there to them, and so I just had to play the hand I was dealt. Like it was going to be a long green run. Came in, probably should have took some more fuel. I only took like 2 gallons. Probably should have put some more in it to take some nose weight off of it. But hey, podium finish on these cars. We'll take it.
Yeah, it was a good run to end out the season and give you some momentum going into the next season of the ASRL Barry Elvis Performance and Fabrication Late Model Series. Going to be exciting to see you there. What's your goal this season to follow up the season you had last year, or last season, I should say?
Yeah, if we can pretty much back that up, that would be ideal. That was a pretty darn good season, I believe. So if we can just stay out of trouble, get some poles, dictate the pace of the race, and kind of set the tone how we feel like it needs to go, and just put ourselves in position to be there at the end, we should be in pretty good shape.
Alrighty, well, it was fun to see you out of your comfort zone a little bit here in these SRX cars this season. And we're glad to have you back full time here with us every week. And we wish you luck through the ASRL season. But before we let you go, is there anybody that you have to thank that helped get you on the podium here tonight?
Yeah, we've not off on the SRX here. Carried my friends out there on a little cakes and confections company, Sugar Moss Cakes and Confections. Got to thank them for coming on board for this SRX. There'll be a smaller sponsor on the late model and super if we do that. But needless to say, thank them there for coming on. Brandon, Dalton, Coleman, Rob, everybody that puts the steel on, but the ASRL and the Crooked Line. Just good bunch of guys. Wouldn't want to be racing with anybody else.
Alrighty, well, congrats to you on your third place run tonight here. And we will talk to you the next time, probably in the late model series.
Appreciate it, Winston. Thank you for all you do as well.
Alrighty. Brian Voss, driver of the number 55 machine here, qualified on the pole, ran up front for the majority of the race, had a good battle with Brandon Elvis there for the race lead, but ended up in the third spot. Now to talk to our second place finisher, Justin Coleman. Justin, you got a copy up in the booth.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Well, you made it exciting there at the end. You were charging late, and you were 11, I think you were about 12 seconds back from Chris Smith, just shy, about a second and a quarter back. Maybe 10 more laps, you would have had him.
Yeah, I waited too long to pit. I knew better than that, but it is what it is. It was fun though. I had a blast. I'm glad Chris got him a win though.
Yeah, it was exciting. I thought it was good that he pit early and kind of undercut it a little bit. Everybody else waited, and then you waited really long, and I saw the gap, and I didn't think you were gonna be even able to make it really close. But man, you got it right up there, and with the pace that you had at the end, I thought you were gonna be able to track him down with maybe some traffic issues, but you made it exciting there at the end for sure. Other than that, how did your race go up until that point?
It was good. Coming into this, I know these cars are a handful to drive. They're tight, don't want to turn, brakes suck. So the first part of that race, I was just riding. I was trying to save tire and just keep a good pace and not tear the car up. And when I seen everybody started pitting, I know I've got everybody a lap down now. I'm probably just going to stay out. I'm going to try to run these last 50 laps, and I found out quick that wasn't the move. Chris ran me down pretty quick, and I was like, well, he's fixing to get his lap back here. I better go on and call him pit. But yeah, I took right sides only, and man, when I came out, that thing was She was rotating through the corners. That thing was fast. She was bad fast, but just ran out of time. You know, that's how it goes.
Yeah, definitely made it close. Maybe 10, 15 more laps. I think you would have gotten there and made an exciting show between the two of you. But still a great run here for the 14 machine. Is there anybody that you have to thank that helped get you into the second place spot here tonight?
Yes, sir. Thank you for broadcasting. You always do a great job. Thank Brandon and Dalton and all the admins at All Star for putting this deal on. They've always coming up with a fun little series to run. And thank all my sponsors: BH Homes Construction, Gibbs Brothers Construction, Parker Brothers Window Tinting, Barry Elvis Performance and Fabrication, Chestnut Hill the Restaurant in Myrtle Beach, Coleman Design, and thank my teammates at Elvis Coleman Racing, Chris, uh, Chris Smith, Brandon Elvis, and Dalton Creech. And they're great teammates. I always have a blast running with them.
Alrighty, well, good group of guys helping you out, getting you into the second place spot here tonight. Congratulations on a good run to finish out your season here in the SRX Spring Shootout. And we look forward to seeing you pretty soon in the ASRL Late Model Series.
Yes, sir. I'll be here.
Alrighty, well, it's always fun having you up in the booth, Justin. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Alrighty. Now we're going to grab a word from our winner here this evening. Chris Smith up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Well, an exciting one here tonight. You won it on a little bit of pit strategy there. Came down on lap 86. I called it out. I saw you make your way down there, and I said, this is going to force the hand of the leaders. They're going to have to pit pretty soon. And when they didn't pit, I thought, did he make the wrong call pitting that early? And when all was said and done, you had a pretty big race lead. And I thought, man, there's no way they're catching him. And Brian Voss got up there, kind of stalled out a little bit. Justin Coleman drove up there and stalled out just at the end, and you were able to hang on and get a victory here at Myrtle Beach. Tell me how you feel.
Yeah, man. I knew if it was going to go all the way green, I had no chance of keeping up with them. So I just took a gamble, come in and get those 2 tires, and luckily it paid off for me.
Yeah, lap 86 he came down. Everybody else came down at lap 100, and then Justin Coleman finally made his pit stop at lap 109. And you just held on for those final 50 laps or so, and it was close there at the end. Had to weave your way through some traffic, and I'm sure the tires were starting to go away, but obviously you held on, got yourself a victory. Is there anybody that you have to thank that helped get you into victory lane here tonight?
Yeah, thanks my wife let me do this. Say hey to my dad. I know he's watching. Chastain Law Firm, Coleman Designs, Elvis and Coleman Racing, and thank you for broadcasting.
Alrighty, well, congratulations, Chris, on another victory here. I think this might be the second time I've watched you win at Myrtle Beach. I might have to go back way through. Maybe it wasn't Myrtle Beach.
It's been a while. This is only Elvis turf right here.
Yeah, this is Elvis, and I think the last time might have been Brian Voss by a nose, but this is usually Brandon Elvis turf. He came home in the 4th spot here tonight. We'll grab a word from him in a minute, but nonetheless, congrats once again on your victory here tonight, and we look forward to seeing you in the late model series in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Alrighty. Chris Smith, your race winner here tonight. We're going to grab a word from our points champion, Brandon Elvis, up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hey, man.
Well, I was looking through the little race winner graphics that Dalton throws in here every week, and I was looking and I kept seeing the Barry Elvis Performance and Fabrication 54, and you're on there, all of them but one. And I guess now 2 tonight, not to take it. I was going to say, not taking it away, now 2 tonight, but consistency, man, that's what did it. Bunch of podiums, 2 wins.
Yeah,
Correct.
man, these cars are fun to drive, dude. And tonight was just, I took 4 tires, and I should have known it was going to get tighter the way the car was handling. Left rear was super planted in the racetrack, and them boys took 2, and that was the winning strategy. super impressed with Chris. He short pitted us and still was able to. I thought he short pitted us more than he did, but he held on, man. Good job to him.
Yeah, I thought the short pit was gonna not end up in his favor just because of how the pace fell off right there at the end, and I didn't think there was going to be enough time left in the race for him to hang on in those last 10, 15 laps. But yeah, 2 tires definitely was the move. I didn't know you took 4. I was wondering what the time gap there was between you and Voss, but that explains a little bit more. But still,
yeah, I think he netted about 7 seconds on me there.
yeah, I was gonna say it was very close between you two going into the pits. I think he might have pit 1 lap after you, maybe followed you in. I'm not quite sure.
One lap before him
One
pitting
lap
is what
prior,
pulled
yeah.
me in. Yeah, I wasn't going
Gotcha.
to stay out there too much longer than he was.
Alrighty, well, good. It was a fun race with a lot of strategy. I didn't think there was gonna be that much strategy coming in, and the caution stayed away there at the end and let it truly play out how it was meant to be. So that was exciting touch at the end, but consistency all season, Brandon. Congratulations on another championship. This is the second one I've watched you win, and you just do it by finishing up front. I get to talk to you all the time up into the booth.
Yes, sir, man. That's consistency and podiums. That's kind of where it's at. Wins definitely feel better, but just being up front really helps.
Yeah, running up front, the wins will find you, but running up front is what's important. Chase Elliott said that when he was talking about getting out of his slump. So take that for what
Yes,
it's
sir.
worth. But congrats once again. Is there anybody that you have to thank that got you this accomplishment?
Yes, sir. My wife for letting me do this stuff. My dad, my family, Barreless Performance and Fab, Crooked Line Racing. Those guys, we got a good league here, and look forward to keeping that going. Chestnut Hill Restaurant, Mr. Chris Lee supports all of our series, and we're very, very grateful for him. You for putting us on, my teammates at ECR, Coleman Design, and Shock Eye Racing Performance. Anybody else who I'm missing, I'm sorry for missing you, but I'm very grateful. Thank you.
Alrighty, well, congratulations, Brandon, on another championship, and this will give you some pretty good momentum going into another season of the Late Model Series. You excited going in there with this on your shoulders?
Yes, sir. I'm pumped about the super late models and the late model stocks. We're going to have a good deal going.
Alrighty, well, we're looking forward to it, and congrats to you as always. It's fun talking to you up here in the booth, and we wish you luck next season.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
Yep. Alrighty, Brandon Elvis, your champion here in the SRX Spring Shootout. Chris Smith picking up the victory here this evening. Justin Coleman second. Brian Voss third. Brandon Elvis fourth. Brian Zimmerman comes home fifth. Only 4 cars finishing on the lead lap here tonight. Long green flag runs were the theme of this race, but you definitely love to see long green flag runs here on iRacing. Sometimes they are few and far between. And Dalton Creech is in the broadcasting waiting room. We'll see if he wants to come up in here. Dalton, you got something to say here for us?
Yeah, man. Just wanted to thank you for doing what you do, man. You're do a fantastic job, and appreciate you doing another season with us. And looking forward to you doing late models and in this next season we got coming up, man. But again, just thank you. Just overall, just thank you for everything you do for us.
Yeah, it's always fun, and looking forward to another season of late models. They're really good racing, and we've been getting better and better as time goes on, and I think this one's going to be something special, and it's definitely an honor to be the one calling it, and thank you guys for keeping me up here in the booth.
Yeah, man, definitely. And I'm with you. I think this year is going to be one of the kind of a breakout year for us, which this last season was fantastic with us being introduced into Crooked Line, into the Crooked Line racing family this year. Something pretty cool, and something we've already kind of announced within the league. But for those who are interested in racing late model stocks and super late models, All Star is now over all of the short track series within Crooked Line. Crooked Line Racing has kind of stepped back a little bit and is letting us take it over. And if you like the racing that's going on in the late model stocks and the SRX, jump in with us on super late models on Mondays. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot to look forward to in the coming weeks, and I'm glad I get to be a part of it. Thank you guys all for putting it on. It's a lot of work goes into this. I know from behind the scenes myself, we all put a lot of work putting all these productions on, and it all works out when it's a good show like this evening. So I think that's going to cap it off, unless you got anything else to say, Dalton. But
nah, man, just thank y'all for watching, and hope you enjoyed our series.
Yep. Alrighty, folks. Dalton Creech, owner of the All-Star Racing League. Him and Brandon Elvis run this thing, and it's very, very good, very polite league. Everybody's nice within the league. You never hear drivers screaming across voice chat at each other, and if you do, it's usually resolved right there and then. Very different than any other league I've seen on iRacing. Usually you've got somebody complaining every race, post-race, but these guys never seem to take anything after the race. They just, next week. It's really nice to be in a fun environment and put on good racing. So that's going to do it here for us this evening at Myrtle Beach. We're going to see you guys next time. Schedule has not quite been released for the late model series yet, so I can't tell you where we're going to be seeing you, but we're going to be seeing you with late model stocks on the racetrack. So thank you guys for watching, and let me take up some of your Tuesday night, and we'll see you guys next time. I'm your host, Winston Deal. Peace out.